In light of the current stress in the banking industry, Goldman Sachs analysts have indicated Sunday that they no longer anticipate the U.S. Federal Reserve to deliver a rate hike at its meeting on March 22nd. In the past, Goldman anticipated a 25 basis point increase. According to analysts, the authorities' actions are expected to boost depositor trust and give banks battling deposit withdrawals with sizable amounts of cash. Goldman said it saw significant uncertainty about the rate hike path after March, but left its projections for 25 basis point increases in May, June, and July unchanged. For more on these headlines, we're going to cross over to London, where we're joined by Arise business analyst Bode Ososanmi. Bode, thanks so much for joining us. A lot going on to avert the Contagon from SVB. What is the latest? We also heard about HSBC purchasing the UK unit.
Well, apparently, and good morning, Reuters. Thanks for having me on the show. Biden is going to deliver remarks on maintaining a resilient banking system and all the measures that are being taken to ensure that we get confidence back up. I think that's going to be at about 12 GMT. Warren Buffett in 1993, he said, when the tide goes out, you learn who's been swimming naked. Rather, unfortunately, we will get some ugly exposures as rate normalization progresses. In the US stock futures jumped yesterday evening, but still green today. But we'll see what happens when markets open, especially after regulators announce this plan to backstop all the depositors in SVB and make additional funding available for banks. The focus, I think, is on just clearing away the debris and minimize contagion and losses as the drama continues. You've already heard Signature Bank has also collapsed. First Republic Bank dropped 56.6% before the bell. I just checked on them now. Even futures, they're down 55% today. That looks like another vulnerable bank. And of course, the regional bank continue to be more at risk. The joint statement of the US Treasury and Fed is quite reassuring. Maybe we'll hear more. In the UK, the focus has been on the quick fire sale to HSBC. HSBC shares not doing so well. I think markets are not impressed with that deal. If you look at the London Stock Exchange as we speak, HSBC is down 3.97. Bacchus is down 4.82. Many have thought European stocks will open on positive points, but most European indices are also down. So clearly there's a lot of nervousness that still needs to be addressed. Unlike the US, Britain didn't announce broader liquidity measures for the banking system, and dozens of British companies are issuing statements concerning their exposure. So we just have to keep watching to see how this develops.
What about Goldman Sachs saying that, we might not see the same rate hikes we're expecting? Do you think Powell will suspend those hikes?
Well, he certainly cannot ignore such a major development. Even before the CPI data tomorrow, many are now saying 96% probability is what we are going to see off 25 basis points. So, we're talking about 50 just 2 days or so ago. Goldman even says no hikes at all at March 22 because of all the issues. It could be 50-50 depending on what we see on Tuesday with CPI. But so far, according to Goldman Sachs, March would be a hold. No increase. May 25 basis points, June 25, July 25, and the terminal rate of 5.25 to 5.5%. Mind you, these forecasts will change before the end of the week.
And still staying on the theme of the SVB collapse, what are the lessons? Will emerging economies feel the impact?
Well, very quickly, three important things. Cohesion between Treasury and Central Bank is extremely important and moving quickly to address the depositor confidence. I think we saw that. The other thing is that the normalization is not a surprise. We've been talking about this almost forever, almost every day for the last over the last year. So adequate time was provided for strategizing and doing your assets and liabilities management. And SVP's mistake, investing in longer-term mortgage securities with more than 10 years to maturity rather than shorter maturity treasuries or mortgage issues, of course, maturing in less than 5 years was an asset liability mismatch, which could have been averted. So I think you just have to do your homework. I think that's what this is pointing to. And of course, African central banks should be quite vigilant, not just to non-performing assets, but concentration risk arising from concentration to a certain vulnerability to certain sectors or types of funds. And as you know, our banks are not as, they don't have the kind of buffers, and the central bank may not be able to do as much as the Fed is doing. So I think to be proactive in observing what's going on, and of course, if there are banks that are not properly positioned, they should be immediately identified to make the necessary adjustments.
Arise business analyst Bode Ososanmi. Bode, thanks for taking us through the headlines. Appreciate your insights as always.